Yo, it's Mel from Rap Rankings. To hear the full episode this clip comes from and all the other episodes, stop by raprankings.com or search Rap Rankings on your favorite podcast platform.
Folks, we're back, and we have a very special guest. A guest who is really the first of his kind on the show.
Is it, who is it? I'm trying to think. First of their kind.
Yes.
Well, I'm a virgin, so wouldn't be a first there. I don't know. I don't know who it is.
Well, Melvin, how about a sex haver? Because we're talking about the father. He's here.
Yeah, the father is officially in the building.
What?
Oh, yeah.
You get two gunshots. The father's here?
He's not the first father to ever appear on Rap Rankings. We have had at least one father that I know of, Mr. Kill, appear on our Reasonable Doubt review. But this guest is a very special guest because this guest, you know, he's also a client. He's a fan of rap.
This guest is family, man. You know?
He's a guy who discovered the show and in turn has become friendly with Moulz Mel, I would say, outside of the show.
He's a name that I say probably every day in my life since he's appeared. Moulz, you can vouch for me. Don't we probably say Cam is like at least once a day?
Yeah, of course. He's a multi-time Rap Rankings game winner.
Oh my God.
And before any of you get any ideas and say, oh, me next, I want to be on the show too. Like I said, we became friends with Cam as like outside of the purview of the show. He's our friend.
Listen, all these me nexts, I got a message for you from Cam.
Get out of here, you fucking bitch.
Okay.
God.
All right, so don't go. All I'm saying is first of his kind, but don't go getting any ideas right here, thinking that this is some kind of thing.
Don't think you can just run out and have sex and procreate and think you're the new father. It's not how it works. Okay.
Don't just hit us up talking about, yo, love the show. By the way, I have sex. You know, like listen.
Nah, man.
It's not gonna fly. Okay.
Yeah.
So please, without further ado, the father, Cam, he is in the building, joining us for the first time, and hopefully not the last. Cam, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well this evening, guys. Moulz Mel. How are you guys doing this evening?
Well, I'm doing great. I know we got a lot of work ahead of us today with this this Drake first listen impending. You know, but of course we had to. Jump in with the father real quick before we attend to that business. And, make history.
Yeah, you definitely have to make history, and this is going to be the first live Walt report.
Oh my God.
No, you got the music?
Do we have Walt report music?
I mean, you got Drake report music.
I do. Wait, hold on. I got an idea. I know what to do for Walt report music.
What do you have, like a Kids Bop version of the Drake report?
No, much more classic than that. Hold on, the YouTube is loading. Okay, here we go. Whoa, what in the world? Wait, not that. Oh, that's the Okay, so Spotify was playing on silent, and I didn't know. And the Chris Benoit theme.
Whoa!
That is not the Walt report music.
No.
Oh my God!
What the hell?
I can't make this up. What
were you doing before we went live with the father?
It's on the playlist. It's
what kind of playlist are you listening to?
Okay, Bad Guy, good song. Okay, I think we can agree there. All right, just leave me alone.
I mean, he didn't make the song.
Great technical wrestler.
There you go, Cam. You know. Oh man. Sorry, Walt. That was inappropriate for a lot of reasons.
Well, that's a joke you'll get one of these days. Your dad will clue you in. He'll smarten you up on all the details. It's a crazy joke. It's a high level joke, made all better by the fact that it was completely unplanned.
I swear to God, the universe was just being a sicko again. Okay,
here's the worst part here. Walt's mom is gonna hear this.
Oh no! Listen, Walt's mom. I got a message for you for Cam. And Cam, this is a message for you too. Here you go. Okay, he's on a good show. Don't worry, that was an accident. And Cam, this is for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being such a great husband. Thank you for being such a wonderful father.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Okay. From Mark Calloway himself. And here's the Walt theme. All right, I got you. Here you go. Much more appropriate.
Aw.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Okay. So. The full version going here. Jeez.
Oh, my bad. I'm Cartoon Mel. I got caught up. I was reminiscing and getting nostalgic. I was watching it.
Oh no, it's good.
The whole opening theme, you know. There's some like erotic subtext to this thing.
Hey, yo, this is the Walt report, sir.
I'm sorry. It ends with that, and it's like he's spraying this white fluid. Anyway,
okay. Milk.
So I'm sorry.
Mel,
he's a growing boy, Mel. Tommy Pickles. Okay,
he is.
Mel,
he's all grown up now, but
here's the thing. Once you see that formula in the bottle, you'll never associate it with anything erotic, especially once it gets thrown up on you. I'm just going to tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. But
fair enough.
This Walt report, he had a NICU follow-up today. They have determined he is caught up to his entire age group since he was born early. He's all good.
God.
Can we get Kevin Gates? Can we get Kevin Gates, please? Thank you.
Yes, we can.
Now, not only that, I have some stats. His height, 97th or above percentile.
Oh, man.
His weight, 75th or above percentile. Now, if you don't understand that, that means he's big, because 97 means real big. 100's as high as you can go.
Okay, I'm glad you actually clarified because I only spent 1 week in AP statistics and then I left. So when you were saying percentiles, I forgot and I was like,
whatever that fucking means.
But now I know.
Yeah. So he's doing amazing. He's nearing 20 pounds. He's almost 2.5 feet tall, and he's not even 5 months old yet.
Yo, Walt's the man. Okay.
Listen,
yeah.
We're gonna. I mean, like inevitably, Dana White, Tony Khan, Vince McMahon. All right, you guys are gonna have to all line up and get your best offers available.
Well, you got to keep Walt away from those men. Okay.
I mean, no, I'm keeping him away from them. We have our sights higher. Nick Saban, Ed Orgeron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's talk about that. Or whatever he wants to do. He could go to film school. It's fine.
Oh, man.
It's
See,
fine.
this is why you're the father, you know, because so listen, fathers, fellow other fathers out there, listen to the father. He's telling you how to parent right now. Okay. Support your kids no matter what they decide to do. All right.
I will say this, though. He does watch me play NCAA football, and he literally watches the screen the entire time. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, yeah, that's the Walt report for us this week. And
I love it.
Yeah. I'm
Folks,
doing great.
We love it.
Yeah.
The son.
Love it.
I mean, listen, we know about the father, but this is the son we're talking about here.
That's right.
Exactly. All right. So
the Father, the Son. What do we got next over here? The Holy Spirit.
Wait. Whoa.
I don't know. I went to Catholic school, so I'm just.
No. That's not it, Mel. Someone just walked into the room. Let me get up for a second.
Oh no.
That's what you want to do? That's what you want to do?
Huh?
Yeah. Nope. Hi, everybody.
Oh no.
Melvin Birch. This
Here
is the
comes.
American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Oh,
now I got
God.
some stuff to talk about with this Cuban Links review you did.
Oh.
Now, I know you kind of ducked in the subway. You wasn't ready for that life. You wasn't about that life. But that doesn't mean when you hear about the guillotine coming down on your head, you give that a 6, daddy. Moulz had that right. That was a 9. That was a 9.
That's correct.
Criminology. I don't know. Do you not know the Scarface sample? Do you not know how RZA chopped up that beat so fine? It was so divine. It was 2 different samples, daddy. He made it that way. and that the energy on that track, my friend Cam, he gives that a 10, daddy, and you disrespected that. Now, I do gotta say, I respect you, Melvin Birch. You're like a charming folk hero bank robber of the 1930s looking for quick scores. Sometimes you catch a full Brinks truck on accident and live like a king for a while. And sometimes you drive right into a police ambush. But more often, in the terms of this Cuban Links review, you set the bank on fire, daddy. You might have put Ram in trouble for life.
Oh my God.
Moulz.
Dusty.
Moulz, I respect you. You're a great man. That's all the American dream has.
I'm a man of principle. I don't duck. I was born in the place they ducked. I didn't have any option. Ducking was never an option for me.
Guys, I'm sorry about that. I did not expect that. He just barged right in on me.
Well, it's always nice to hear from Dusty. You know, he's a legend.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah, this isn't the first time on the show we've heard from people from beyond the grave. Miss Cleo, Gootrode.
Hey, Paul Bearer, of course. He receives the albums one by one each week.
Yeah, he gets the albums all the time. You know, he was upset with me, too, about my Cuban Links rating when he heard about it.
Man, know this. It's all jokes. Anyone who comes at you seriously about that rating, they're a bozo. They are a bigger bozo than Ochoa.
You hear?
My God!
You hear that? That's from the father himself. Okay, he told you, courtesy of the father and Daniel.
You a bozo.
Okay, you a bozo.
Look, the third member. He said it. The third member said it best. Let the captain and the virgin take you on a ride and enjoy it, and don't get too caught up in the minutia. You know.
Well, and I'll be fair, as a fan, as someone who has listened to pretty much every episode at this point, I respect where Mel is coming from. I respect where Moulz is coming from. Now, do Moulz and I's opinions align more closely typically? Yeah, but we're pretty much the same age and we were raised in two different areas, but a lot of our experiences kind of line up the same, so I would kind of expect that.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
You cannot discredit someone else's opinion because it differs from your own or because it differs from the canon and what's accepted as the correct quote-unquote opinion. Mel and I disagree, obviously, about Cuban Links, but I do respect his right to have his opinion, and I wouldn't want him to come on here and bullshit you guys because he's scared of what hip-hop is going to think of him.
Yeah.
Oh, did you say hip-hop?
And honestly, that's an album I expect once that car comes through, it probably goes up a little bit. Certain songs may not, but once you hear that in the car,
we know about him,
different.
Cam. The car situation led to Cuban Links and to Cal 2000 getting slightly fucked. I don't think it would be a night and day situation where all of a sudden he comes back and they're both record club albums for him. But we know he was, I would be that way too. I'd be like, yo, I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to those when I'm not at rock bottom.
Now, I do think once he might re-rate some stuff, I think Cuban Links could get a lot closer to record club than it is. It may be borderline, but I expect it to be high 60s, low 70s by the time that happens. Dude, the car experience for that album is just different. Like, RZA himself said Cuban Links is like the album for the car that's a Wu-Tang album. At least in that first run.
I think that the car situation has been unfairly, what's the word I'm looking for? Not magnetized. That wouldn't make any sense. Magnified, I think. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, it's been a while since I was in school. Magnified. Okay, and the last I heard, okay,
hip hop. It started out in the park.
In the park, not the car. All right.
Yeah, but things evolve, and people got systems in their car, and people started making music to play. Like with that booming system. You know about the booming. Well, actually, I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
But you should.
I mean, the car is definitely, you can play it louder, and that's the whole park thing, is like, it's meant to be played loud. It's a genre that's meant to be booming out of the system, whether it's in the car or in the house. And I mean, if you're in the house and you kind of got to consider other people, that can affect it.
Fair enough. I miss the car experience. It is crucial, and I will be.
You're enveloped by the music. If you can't play, I'll say, if you don't have a car, you should at least have speakers and a place where you can crank those speakers up. If you don't even have that, and you're only doing headphone listens, we know about you.
Now
I walk around outside and soak in the world as I'm doing it.
Fuck the world. This ain't about the world.
Come on, man.
Now, I will say with Liquid Swords, you can get a lot out of headphone listens on this album. Like, I have no problem with, like, basing ratings on certain tracks based on the headphones, because they are super in-depth, and it's just GZA barring out.
I'll tell you, slight spoiler, I did get quite a lot out of the headphone listens here. So,
yeah.
You know, that's a good transition, actually. Folks, listeners, audience, hey, y'all out there, hey, yeah, this is still Rap Rankings, don't worry. I guess it feels weird to go through this with Cam on, because he's just he's a part of the show, you know? So it's like, you already know this, but just in case we got new listeners, we gotta go through this rating system, you know.
Everybody's got to know, and I mean, it's important to know what the rating system is, because if you don't, you could hear these numbers and just be completely thrown off and be sending threats online.
You know? Exactly. We can't have threats sent online. That's how bad things happen. So, you know, as Narwhal would say, your Rap Rankings, we have to know. So I'm going to tell him. All right. It's the rating system. I can't even put in the soundbite we recorded more.
No, because like, it wouldn't be.
Yeah. Right? I mean, we don't do the whole thing. So yeah, anyway, for first time guests, here's the skinny on this. The rating system is simple. Each song is rated on a scale of 1 to 10. These numbers do not reflect the quality of a song, as that is indeterminable. Instead, each number reflects a level of enjoyment. In short, here's what each number means. 10 means this is a perfect song to me, one of my favorite songs of all time. 9 means I love it. 8 means I like it a lot. 7 means I like it. 6 means it's alright. I don't dislike it, but I can't say that I like it. 5 means I feel practically nothing about this. 4 means it's not the worst thing I've ever heard, but I dislike it. 3 means I dislike it. 2 means I hate it. And 1 means I absolutely can't stand it. One of the worst things I've ever heard. Side note, you can add a plus or a minus to those numbers. Those pluses and minuses have no mathematical or statistical value. They're merely indicators that mean one of two things. First thing it means is like saying a strong or light version of that number. 6 plus, strong 6. 7 minus, light 7. Second thing, it's an indicator that it could go up or down in the future because the ratings aren't static on this show. For instance, all of hip-hop is waiting on Mel to get a car so he can re-listen to some of these Wu-Tang albums with the hope that the ratings will climb and we'll have to atone for his sins on our segment, I Was Fucking Tripping. But until that car comes, these ratings are what they are. They might even be what they are after the car comes. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, they could be. I expect a couple songs. I don't expect a ton changing.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying I don't think it's going to be a complete 180, but I think a couple songs got screwed over on each album.
Well, we'll see. But folks, that's the rating system, and that's what we're going to be using to rate this song here. This track 7, Fourth Chamber, featuring RZA, Killer Priest, and Ghostface Killah, produced by RZA.
I guess I should get my ratings out.
Yeah, that'd be wise.
Yeah, while you guys look this up, you want me to go over how familiar I am with the album?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, please.
All right. So, Liquid Swords, I still own a t-shirt to this day with this album cover. And it's not because it's not because I'm just like trying to be stylish. I am a father. I wear t-shirts and basketball shorts like 90% of the time now. Like, there's no style to it. I love this album. Like, I first heard it was during my Wu-Tang phase, so I think it was the third Wu-Tang album I heard, because I heard Enter the 36 Chambers, loved it, and then got Cuban Links and Liquid Swords for Christmas, I believe when I was 15. Wow. So I first listened to Liquid Swords in the winter. Now, over time, Cuban Links has gotten better, but Liquid Swords I really associate with wintertime, especially Midwestern winters where it's just freezing outside. You're stuck in your car, you're stuck inside, and you just gotta think. And this is what that album brings out of me, because it's just a lot of lyrics coming at you, a lot of beats that just kind of... they're there, and there are elements you hear in the headphones that you never hear on the car speakers. And it's always stuck with me. I listen to it probably 3 or 4 times a year minimum, usually in December or January.
That's a thing, winter rap albums. I mean, like, for me, The Infamous by Mobb Deep is like such a winter album. So much so that, like, I made sure that when I slotted it in the schedule for next season, that it will be cold outside by the time that the review comes around.
I mean, that's just... I think... Which album was it? Was it Tikal 2000, where you were talking about Havoc's production? And just
yeah, because there was that step... What was it? Not Step by Step. There's this Play for Keeps.
Yeah,
Tikal 2000. Yeah.
Just how cold his drums sound, and like that's like a sound when I've been producing, I've like tried to mimic and try to get with like reverb every time, because I just love.
Yeah, there's like a cold crispness, especially to his snares.
Oh yeah, and I mean, this is one of the first like Wu-Tang albums I feel like you get that kind of sound out of the drums from RZA.
Yep. There is a joint on the next album, Iron Man. It's either the Faster Blade or 260 that sound like the building block elements that Kanye would later use to make Heartless with. Like, it's kind of pan flutes and like xylophone sounds almost. It's very interesting.
Oh, that's Faster Blade, because 260 is that Al Green loop with
it's that da-na-now. Yeah. Okay, you're right. So Faster Blade felt like, you know, the elements that were when Kanye talks about the influence that RZA had on the production of 808s. When I think of Heartless,
that's exactly
I think of the song Liquid Swords mixed with the elements from Faster Blade on top, like those icy cold sounds.
Oh yeah, definitely 100% there. And 269, like, I love that song. I love that story.
I'm very excited to do that album. I mean, I've touted it as my favorite album we'll be doing this season. I haven't gotten around to doing my first listen of it yet for the show, so I don't know how it's going to shake out for me, but
I just re-listened this week. Meth on Box in Hand, I believe. I think that's better than anything he does on Tikal, like, by far.
I feel like I'm just the young guy just sitting and listening in the cafe as the old dudes talk. Not calling y'all old, I'm just saying, you know, like, because if I share my like winter albums, I'm gonna look like more of a whippersnapper than I already look like on this show, and I'm trying to chill out from the abuse for a couple episodes. I've had enough blowback.
I've been around enough whippersnappers recording them, Mel. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, because the internet is a big winter album for me. It came out in the winter.
I'm not going to get on you about that. I can see that being a winter album. It's almost a little too bright for me. Like, for a
It's
winter
very
album.
bright.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has its ebbs and flows. There are ups and downs, peaks and valleys. Like, it can get dark, it can get light. You know, I mean, how dark can you be with rainbows, sunshine? You know, like, it's kind of hard.
That can't be a winter album. Like, it came out in the winter.
It came out in December.
But it doesn't sound... When we're talking about winter albums, it's more so what the music evokes, more so than...
Oh, bro, there's winter songs on there. Earn is a winter sounding song.
I will say, I think a winter rap album is... You can hear the threat of violence, but it's more like it's going to happen to you than it's actually the performer saying they're doing violence. Like, on Liquid Swords, you can hear just the threat of violence around some of these tracks. Even on, like, Iron Man, you can, too, when you get into that one.
Do you consider the Blueprint to be a winter album? Because I've heard some people refer to it as such. And I'm not... I mean, it came out in September. I do remember being very cold outside while having it in my Discman at points, but is it a winter album?
Not to me. I think the closest thing a J album comes to a winter album is probably Reasonable Doubt, and that's just more production than content, honestly.
Right.
Like... yeah, Blueprint gets like too bright and happy in some spots. Like it has,
and funny enough,
Izzo on it.
Reasonable Doubt came out in June of '96. Yeah. So
I mean, I think that has a lot to do with why that album flopped at the time.
It just it didn't like quote unquote meet the moment, basically.
Yeah.
But continue, Cam. So your background.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's really about it from that point. I mean, at that point, I was listening to the rest of the Wu-Tang albums, hit or miss after that point, and I would get more into Ghostface because once you look into GZA's discography after Liquid Swords, it's real hit or miss, and there are a couple real duds in there. Like, just
that doesn't sound
boring.
Good.
Yeah, we were briefly discussing this earlier. I do think we saw a brief return to form with the Grandmasters project.
That's
DJ Moulz.
That's the one exception, yeah. And that's just because I even think GZA sounded bored on that album. The production was just good enough to keep it afloat.
Because I think what was it, Legend of the Liquid Swords? That was rough.
Oh,
there was another one, too.
All of those... second Wu-Tang albums, the solo ones, except for like Supreme Clientele, it's just real rough going, except for Tikal 2000.
That's why Ghostface, I mean, again, I think we briefly discussed this in part one. I wanted Meth to be my guy because on paper he should be. Coming in with like the guest features and just like the random appearances, all signs are pointing to him being my guy. But the original Tikal album, it's okay. Tikal 2000, I think it's underrated, but it's not a classic.
No.
And then after that, other than Blackout, it's a bit of a wash. I mean, he never had that, like, second wind, in my opinion, after Tikal 2000 and Blackout. That was kind of it.
No, and I think part of that is he just got money acting and didn't really need to rap anymore, and
he didn't really care as much. Like the hunger had subsided somewhat.
Yeah, and once he was out for a little bit, he came back on like Cuban Links 2 and just was destroying stuff. Like I think he was
the funny
a guy
thing is nobody makes movie money and comes back to rap with any sort of ambition.
No, never.
Because they see the checks and they're like, "Oh my god."
No, because the music industry is a scam. That's why I know when you guys play your old music, you're not in it. You're just playing it because you know there's no money in this.
Oh, man.
Well, funny enough, we do have something like that coming up. I've brought a special treat for the class.
Yes,
oh, man. This man talking about treats.
But yeah, so we should just get to rating this thing first.
Oh yeah. So,
right.
Let's see. Should I go first or should you guys
go? We always like to give the floor to the guest.
Yeah, I'll go first. Fourth Chamber, for me, it's an easy one. It is a 10.
Oh, my God, man. Folks, okay.
The father has spoken.
He's spoken. It's a perfect song, then.
It's a perfect song, and I'll go into the reasons why it's perfect, and I can compare it to the next song. You guys don't have to give your ratings, but I give Shadowboxing a 9. I give Fourth Chamber a 10. The reason why I love elements on Shadowboxing, I don't think there are elements on Fourth Chamber that if I didn't hear, I wouldn't have started making hip-hop beats. Like, that's a track that is, like, definitive for me wanting to learn a beat machine and wanting to get into this.
How influential.
Yeah.
This is
well, again, I don't want to give away too much of my hand, but this one's pretty influential for me as well.
Everybody's getting influenced over here. Well, I got good news. I'm too young to be influenced, but I still like it. Flat 7.
All right.
We got the flat 7 in the building. Some
it's
say
not even
that
the 7 minus.
Some
Not
some
even
say
a
that
7 minus. It's a flat 7 on this.
Well, if Q-Tip or Fife were on here, he'd have to throw the minus, but we know about him. I guess it's just on me now. I give this an 8+. Ding me, baby.
Wow.
Okay. Well.
Almost the watch. Almost
the royal watch.
But I'd have to go up 1, and Mel would have to go up 1. Right?
I know.
Or Cam would have to go down, and we're not going to make Cam go down. We're going to let him stand. Listen, he's at his 10. You hear that, folks?
Wu-Tang! Oh, yeah. 10. All right. You know? So, Mel, I want to hear, what did you really like about it? What got it over for you to the 7?
Okay, well, I'll let you know. So, what put me on notice first, just on a purely aesthetic, superficial standpoint, I see this chamber in the title. I'm like, oh, the Chambers are back. I'm loving the Chambers. The appearance of the Chambers this season, I always like. So I'm glad to see that. And once again, I'm curious, like, what makes this the 4th chamber, and why is it track 7 and not track 4? It's like, so it comes in, and this soundbite cracks me up because it's like, he's talking. I mean, as the father, you would understand. He's talking to his son, who is a baby, I guess. You know, you don't understand my words, but you must choose, you know, basically between the sword and like being like his mom. And he gets like morbid, like basically going, you know, I guess the domestic route would result in death. And he's like, you know, son, come boy, choose life or death, which is hilarious to me. But this beat comes in, and I'm like, oh, okay, this sounds like the Beatos, you know, who I don't really care for, but here it just reminds me of them. I don't even know if that's an accurate comparison, but it's just like squealing guitar. My wacky scenario is I'm wrapped up in Christmas lights, moonwalking down the street in the snow with cocoa in my hand. That's what this beat sounds like to me. RZA is back. Okay, he's brought something dirty and grimy and hard, and I like it. And I like being able to say that RZA's back, because so far this season I feel like I had to be heavy on RZA, and you know I don't want to have to be that, but that's just how I've been feeling. But here, good stuff. Okay,
100%.
Big fan of this beat. I found a note here from GZA. He said it's one of 3 songs that crowds always go crazy for when they do a Wu show. As soon as they hear and then he imitated the opening guitar sound, they just explode, you know? So, and I can see that because it's very, can I say anthemic, I guess, how it comes in.
Oh yeah.
You know, very unique.
It sounds always has sounded to me like a computer mainframe has fried and the fiends have turned into zombies. All the fiends out there have turned into zombies.
Moulz, you know what that is, right? You know what he's using on that track, don't you?
That's
the Nord lead he talks about in the Wu-Tang manual. Like he bought that Nord lead and he was playing the beat
just to make this beat.
Did that? Well, but he got it and was playing around with the sounds while this beat was playing, and then he did that, and he's just like, oh, that sounds hot, and just puts that right in.
That's when that happens, and it's not something that happens often.
No.
Where you're just fucking around, or like in one case, I was co-producing something with someone, and an ambulance drove by. We're like, yo, that's it. Like, put ambulance sounds in the beat. That's the one, right? Like, that sounded crazy.
That serendipity is great when it comes
to like those moments where you just kind of happen upon something and you actually get magic out of it.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, the beat immediately, you know, I'm a beat first kind of guy, so the beats always stood out to me.
Well, and that's the thing. It comes in with that Shogun Assassin sample, which I love Shogun Assassin. It's a great movie. I love Lone Wolf and Cub, which is probably the better version of it, but that sample. And I thought about coming in with, like, choose the Rab and join me. Choose the Skips and join Mother in death.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
But, like, I think this and Iron Man are peak RZA productions, because I think after that, he gets too involved in, like, trying to be way too creative with it. This is the exact synthesis of he's being super creative, but he's still keeping it down to the basics of hip-hop.
Latter day RZA to me, and I really put that definitively around really like post Kill Bill and the 8 Diagrams album, especially production wise, which he insisted that he have a hand in everything. This like, we need to bring in live musicians. It was really just pretentious to me. It was at the time, and it still is. This idea like we need John Frusciante on the Wu-Tang song.
Yeah, my thing with that is once you bring in live musicians for
Did you say Ja and Ashanti?
No, John Frusciante, the guitarist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you bring in live musicians just for the sake of doing it, you've just done like sniffing up your own ass shit. That's how I feel. Because like a beat shouldn't be that complex. It's where Kanye lost me. It's where RZA lost me.
Right. It was let's make a musical composition. And it's like, let's not. Let's make a beat. Maybe. You're pretty good at those, actually.
Play the drop, Mel. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
I'll bring it in. It's like, let's at least start with a beat before you start adding all these other elements.
Exactly.
Here's the drop.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
The hip hop producers, you're not that guy. Keep it
You're
simple,
not that guy.
stupid.
Don't let Quentin Tarantino gas you up into bringing some crazy musicians in there. I think you got to spruce up your music or whatever it is.
I don't even know that that's Quentin, because that soundtrack is a pull-out soundtrack. Like, I think he was just like, I can do film scores now, and just went off with it.
Well, technically, what would that start with? Ghost Dog, right?
Oh, yeah.
I like that movie. I saw that movie in, what was it, like 2014, 2015? I liked it.
Look, I own the film. Okay,
Yeah.
I own the film. I'm not shitting on the movie, but it's and I love Kill Bill 1 and 2. All I'm saying is it was the beginning of RZA getting lost up his own ass to an extent.
Yeah,
and it's no secret
definitely.
why every single member of the Wu-Tang Clan was like, "Hey, we're cool with RZA. We're fine with bringing him in. It's Wu-Tang. We got to bring him in for a couple beats, but like we don't want him dictating the whole process anymore." I thought that was always a somewhat reasonable ask. Is like, we're not telling you to fuck off. We're just telling you to let us work with other people.
Yeah, and yeah,
they got fed up. They wanted beats. They sat RZA down and they told him, "Yo, we want beats, man.
Not no mysterious shit.
Not no mysterious shit."
Yeah, he was getting a little mysterious.
Shit.
He was getting mysterious. He's still doing mysterious stuff to this day.
Oh man!
Listen, this beat. Let me tell you something. What's impressive about this beat too? One of the samples in this beat is the same sample from Liquid Swords, the title track.
Yeah.
So RZA sampled the same thing twice to completely different results.
Gotta love that.
And
now, I have sampled it too.
Look at this guy over here.
Look at this guy.
Look at this. It's Groovin' by Willie Mitchell is the sample. It was flipped twice on this album, once on the title track that we already did, and right here on Fourth Chamber. But I did an album in 2011, I believe, with Pressure. It was called The Woodside Boys. And
I got it here. Can I just tell you before you finish? Ever since like 2011, because I remember seeing this picture. I don't know if I ever told you this, but he looks like The Weeknd before he got famous.
That's funny. He's a good guy, and we did an album together that I produced. He did all the raps on it, and I flipped the same sample, and I think it sounds completely different than this and Liquid Swords, and it's definitely the worst of the three. So let's check it out. Clappin' by the Woodside Boys.
Oh God, here we go.
My mama said, what my mama said? Oh yeah. Mama said I'ma make it rapping, no sleeping, I may be napping. The actions will make it happen. It's time now, let's get it cracking. On Apple, I may be macking. The verses I'm gonna be snapping. Whether it's your hands or your ass, now you can get the clapping. Now you can get the clapping. Now you can get the clapping. I'm colder than Minnesota. I got a chip on my shoulder. The lovers supply coronas. The haters could kiss the bone. I got greater as I got older. My venom is like a cobra. My mental is like a soldier. Ain't stopping until it's over. I'm just a good guy like a Chucky doll. Not recognize the enterprise of a fucking boss. I suffer many losses, but I got many wins. I did so many deeds, but half of them were sins. And for my next of kin, this nigga going in hard as a Mexican off of a pickup. Cause Lyle sent me all these beats I need to rip up. Like a sword slicing your ass, I'll tear the shit up. Gotta get up, get out and get something.
That wasn't that bad.
Yeah, the claps were a little weird that I put in there, but
it's
everything
called
else.
Clapping. It's what do you want?
It was get to clapping.
Listen, I liked it.
Yeah, that was
sounds great to me.
Oh man, I haven't heard that drop in a minute.
But I played that mainly to highlight that the sample was turned into 3 totally different things. So I don't know if that just speaks to sampling in general or this specific track, Groovin'.
Like the concept of sampling and that song.
That shit is great to me.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I won't be coming back to music anytime soon. So
it's okay. I understand.
It's just if you happen to like something, I need to restate that I won't be back.
And I'll agree with that. Like, if you sample right, like RZA does on this beat, like you can change your sample to fit whatever you want. You just got to know how to manipulate it, how to mess with the equipment, because he changes that sample into this driving, pounding beat that just keeps the momentum going. Like, I don't think this Ghostface verse, which we got to get into that, I think Ghostface could have started a religion based off of this verse.
Man. This
is like a 12 out of 10 verse.
I'm of the belief, this is just me talking, Cam, and we do have a lot in common, you and I. I do think Ghostface held the torch of the Wu-Tang Clan when many others failed to follow up on their, critically lauded successes. Ghostface just kept it going. I just think he's been incredibly consistent throughout his career. So perhaps I'm a little biased, but on a song with many stellar verses on it, this is the best verse to me. Ghostface has the best verse on this song.
I have nothing bad to say about this verse. Nothing bad.
None. Okay. When it gets to why is the sky blue? Why is water wet?
Why did Judas rat the
Romans while Jesus slept?
Woo! And I love the way the overdriven, distorted guitar comes in for that part. Like it popped me. It was great. It was a perfect musical touch to complement those bars. And he was taking off. Like the end talking about, Iron Man be sipping rum out of Stanley cups, unflammable, spine tingle, mind boggles, Kangos and rainbow colors, like built with Genghis Khan, the raid Slade while he died. Delightfully preposterous, like Ghostface bars.
Those last 2 lines, I ran the Dark Ages, Constantine the Great, Henry VIII, built with Genghis Khan, the red suede while he died, and then it just blends perfectly into that Killer Priest verse, which I wrote notes down. It said, the Killer Priest is peak platonic ideal meat and potatoes bars. It's perfectly fine.
I agree with you until the final line. I've always thought his final line on the song was whack.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to be alone here. I said it's a perfect verse alert for me.
Leave him split like ass cheeks and ragged pussy lips.
I'm going to have to take his word for it. I'm a virgin. Sounded good to me. Okay.
It got over for me for comedy style. It is undeniably a ridiculous line to end your verse with, though.
But speaking of ridiculous, we get RZA coming in with the RZA-isms.
Oh, hilarious verse from RZA. I love this guy as a rapper. I love him.
I love this RZA verse, for the record. The confidence in his voice on this song is incredible.
Bro, there are ninjas in this verse.
Camouflage chameleon, ninja scaling your building.
Okay. I have a conspiracy about this. He predicted the war in Afghanistan in this verse.
My God.
The year 2002, the battle's filled with the Wu. 6 million devils just died from the bubonic flow or the Ebola virus under the reign of King Cyrus, who reigned in Asia. Come on. Like, why would you drop that?
Hold on, we got a new thing for moments like this.
Yes.
Cam may have just cracked a code here, so I'm gonna have to hit this. RZA apparently knew about the war in Afghanistan, so listen, these Wu-Tang people, they got some mystical access, it seems. All right, we've talked in the past on this show about rappers time traveling, but they're on something else, entirely.
And I mean, how could you hate GZA coming in and cleaning house at the end? Great final verse.
He was saying like he went last because what was it? We talked about it in part 1, or I think we did. And he was like, I didn't have anything written or something, And he said, I found it. He said, making Forest Chamber was crazy because I didn't have a rhyme ready for that one. That's why I went on it last. And I was like, well, I mean, hey, you could have went for. He sounded good to me,
I thought he has a great verse.
Yeah, I put he had great cleanup bars, but he finishes third on his own song. Which, if you're spitting this verse and you're finishing third on a song, it's a special track.
It's probably a good song, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, especially because he talked about in the past, and we were discussing this, I think, either on the last episode or on the ODB episode, he was getting tired of, having to always go first.
Yeah.
Yeah, between GZA and Inspector Deck, eventually both of those guys have to be like, come on, I can't be doing this every time, guys.
Oh man, I'm thinking just in thinking about my years in rap, and it's like going first on like a posse cut. It's a lot of pressure, like you almost have to be great, not just for yourself, but for the people after you. Because if you're whack, somebody might skip the song, and then there might have been better verses after you that will never be gotten to because you didn't lead off right, so. Maybe it was the pressure. Maybe they just wanted to be in a different part of the song. I don't know, but I understand. Okay?
Yeah, and honestly, it depends on the beat, but sometimes if you're that leadoff guy, you got to figure out how to unlock that beat and flow.
Oh, right. That too. You have to figure out the approach, and a lot of times they follow your lead with that. So, yeah, look.
Don't want to say other people on posse cuts are biting flows, but like, if you hear something, you can kind of find other pockets into it. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah, no, usually a person will set the tone, and it's like now someone has a blueprint, to kind of follow. It makes things easier on the rest of us, But I mean, well, unless you were me, because back in the day, what was it referred to? I had a ruined orgasm flow, and it seemed like I just would ignore everyone around me. This is on multiple posse cuts, so maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know.
So wait, was it like just you'd start the flow, it would be kind of spastic?
It was he'd start the flow, it would be kind of good, and then you'd be like, all right, he's doing something here, and then right when you're expecting him to kind of put a ribbon on it and complete the flow with an adequate, bar arrangement that's normal, he would just switch on the 7th bar to a new flow and not end that previous flow.
So he'd be doing stuff that if he was doing that in my studio, I would throw him out and say, you need to write 10 bars before you come back in here with that flow so you don't mess it up next time.
Well, Moulz, what was the song I did? It was for one of your albums. I think it was
it was something.
It was I said something about Brian Pillman on the record.
Yeah.
And I specifically recall you saying that was an example of the ruined orgasm.
Yeah, because there's
I was going on that and
song then where you're just killing it harder than you have ever have before, and then you just kind of forget about it.
Yo, I found it. It's Loose Cannons is what it was.
Okay. I think you got to go past my verse on that one.
Yeah, no, I can do that. Cam, you're about to hear something.
This is the Ruined Orgasm flow. Who made the beat? I think this is Steel Tip Dove.
Okay, I'm gonna give you this. Okay, hold on. It's rendering. I'm live in Sony Vegas right now, cutting my verse out.
Oh God.
Yeah, Cam, I don't talk about. I mean, because there's no reason for me to. I don't talk about my rap exploits much on this show because it's over with, and I'm glad.
I nailed in like a 2013 Randy Orton, like 2018 Shinsuke Nakamura level verse on this song on my own album. But Mel had a chance to kill it, and then he just chose to stop killing it in the middle of his verse or something.
Here's the verse, Cam. Here we go.
Let me hear this.
To pizza like a hot potato. I'll have that since I can't afford the Baconator. Minus sour cream, people wanna make me hater. Color me bad like I'm Bryan Adams. I add 'em like fine, but I'm actually flying Brian Pillman. I'm filling the gun like a prescription. I drive to your village, I run up in your house and I peel it. Cat back, your cat back. You wanted a villain, now look you got him. It's what you asked for, that might be tough to swallow. Check my last name, then check how I just bottled the metaphor while extending it. These are a writer's benefits. Oh, what a rush. I'll still get a crush on girls like Buttercup in a second. Ain't learned my lesson. These tomboys got me stressing. What team you reppin'? Girl, I've been out here sweating you profusely. You say fat chance like the rapper on a plane taking 2 seats. No, I'm a Ravenclaw, but I've been acting Hufflepuff. In the club, drinking Surge out of double cup. Unconcerned with these blogs and the scuttlebutt. Call me a dumb. Watch out for the sucker punch.
Specifically, like the sweating profusely. That's when I start ruining the orgasm.
So you get that whole like,
he really had it going.
When it's like that cat back, your cat back, you wanted a villain. That whole thing, that whole sequence. Okay.
Yeah.
What I'm really flying, Brian Pillman. I'm filling the gun like a prescription. I run and I peel it. I run into your house and I peel it. You cat back, you cat, and I'm like, whoa, he's killing it, and then he just stops.
Yeah. And there's a moment where it picks up again, and it's like, why didn't you just rewrite those couple of bars? It would have been okay. It would have been okay. Although,
and the thing is, Cam, I could sit here and explain to you why I was rapping that way, but it's a dark tale and we don't have time for it. But just know when Moulz and I started working together more closely, he eliminated those things, those tendencies.
I mean, that's good. Like, it should be eliminated. Like, that's something
that was one of my first orders of business. First 90 days in office, I'm like, we got to get rid of the dropping the flow thing that you do.
Moulz was your AAU camp. You got to pound out the jumper. You got to just get the kinks out of it.
Yeah, he changed up a lot of my approaching of rap. I credit Moulz for helping me become a better rapper because I don't think. I mean, I don't want to speak for myself for too long, but Moulz, would you ever say lyricism was never quite the issue as much as my performance as a rapper?
You've always been, I would say, a thoughtful and at times brilliant writer. You didn't need.
Well, thank you.
You didn't need assistance with your writing ever.
Well, I think you made that better too. But it was the flowing and the actual performance of rapping that always left something to be desired.
Yes, it was a very half-hearted, no balls performance, but we fixed that.
Yeah, he beat that out of me.
Mel, I do gotta ask, what's with the Harrow references? That Harrow Potter.
Man, I don't know. I wish I could explain.
It's an unexplained phenomenon, apparently.
It is. It's.
Yet it pops up every episode, every song. They're just littered.
I'm bringing the music back.
Like,
I don't know. I can't explain it. It just.
I mean, I know you're Virgin Mel, but was there a girl at that time that was just into it?
Not exactly. It just, I mean, other than Emma Watson, and I don't know her personally. Well, so, yeah, I really can't explain it. There are things that I'm much bigger for. Wrestling, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Mortal Kombat, like things that I know much more intimately, lore-wise, and have a much stronger passion for than Harry Potter. And yet, I reference this thing as if like I've cosplayed as characters before or something. I don't get it personally.
It's one of your most defining characteristics at this point as a human being.
And I hate it.
Wait,
I don't want to go down in history as Harry Potter boy.
I think I can nail it down. You have a younger brother, correct?
Yes.
Was ABC Family / Freeform on in your house a lot?
No, but I do remember when those movies got picked up on that network.
Because that would be like the one thing that would make sense, especially if you're like college age and kind of slacking around the house, but you got a younger sibling there, so you got to kind of watch age appropriate material.
I thought you were gonna say, do you have a younger sibling? Is he a wizard, Melvin?
Did he get that letter to go to Hogwarts?
Right. Does he have that scar on his forehead?
Oh man, yeah, no, none of that actually. I think, well, if anything, I passed a different book series down to my brother. It was a series of unfortunate events. That Wimoni Snicket, Wimmo.
That's a good one to pass on, and I actually like Harrow. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. My wife has a painting she made that has one of the, which one? Oh, the Deathly Hollow symbol. She painted that and it's hanging in my office.
Word.
Yeah.
That's like the triangle with the circle and the.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with.
See, and I know that. Why do I know that?
I didn't really ever care for the books. Keep in mind, I only read the first one. And I'm like, this isn't for me. But I greatly enjoyed the films, even though they got a bit repetitive. I found the films to be very enjoyable. And let's just leave it at that. But Mel couldn't just leave it at that, could he?
He could not. Now, Moulz, I will say, if you like the films, the Goblet of Fire book is actually a lot better than the movie by far. Like, they slaughtered that book for that movie to the point where I hate it, even though I recognize it's a decent movie.
Is that the fourth movie or the fifth movie?
The fourth.
The fourth.
Okay. I think I saw that one in IMAX, and I was like, I think very inebriated and barely remember anything from it other than that I saw it at IMAX. Was there like a guy in it with some kind of like steampunk gadget on his eye?
Moody, Mad Eye Moody, right?
Mad Eye Moody, yeah.
Oh my God! Why is this information in my brain?
Played by
great
British character actor Dominic Gleeson.
Me and the boys went to see it at IMAX. I think we got a little drunk. I don't remember.
Oh, you and the boy?
No,
you and Drizzy, y'all went to see it?
Not the boy, the boys.
Oh man,
we
gotta see the boy who lived. We had to figure out why he's still living, eh?
We're recording this the night before that CLB. I gotta ask the Drake report, man.
The night before, is it not coming out?
No, it's technically the night of. Yeah, it's coming out in like an hour and 45 minutes. So
it crosses over into AM. I was right. Come on, give me this one.
Yeah, okay, you're fair.
But Drake report, man.
Yes.
That cover.
Hey.
It's awful.
I have to be honest, Drake. Come on, bro. I love you, and you did this to me. Where's the
Drake.
Big E drop? Where is it? Hold on. Made a fool out of me. Okay, that's how I felt when I saw it.
I made an observation when Mel sent me this cover. I said, "Do you know who the last rapper was that appeared on every one of their album covers, and then suddenly didn't? And what album that was?"
Oh yeah. I know where you're going with it.
That's right. It's our good friend himself, Uncle Hove, Jay-Z, and the album was Blueprint 3, where suddenly, after multiple albums of this guy on the cover, every single one from Reasonable Doubt all the way up until American Gangster, suddenly Blueprint 3 is a bunch of instruments painted white. There's some red lines through it. And he never appeared.
Fucked up, right?
Jay-Z has yet to appear on another one of his own album covers again.
And except for one of the albums, they've been pretty bad.
Well, listen, Drake, I just got a message for you with this cover.
Made a fool out of me? Who did this and why? Who did this and why? I demand to know.
I was hoping my Drake enthusiasm would kick in.
It's hello, my fellow kids.
That's the one.
It's not even that. It's I still think I'm 24. Like he's moving
my
like he's 10
kids.
years younger.
He's showing up at high school with the backwards hat, the skateboard, the red hoodie, and the memes. He's got memes on his phone. He's going to show them Meek Mill memes to Will Smith and make him laugh.
Oh.
The one thing I'll give that cover over the Blueprint 3 cover is the Blueprint 3 cover is absolute high art bullshit. The Certified Lover Boy cover, that is straight
low art Will Smith is what that is.
No, that's Drake being Drake in a way that is just what people hate about him.
It was playing into the brand too much for me. I don't know.
Drake is almost 10 years in on realizing what a meme is and how to use it to propel his music in different ways.
He's right now. Drake is the Raven Shoot interview clip. What a mark!
I hate it because it's like, okay, you're going for buzz and, spectacle. And it's like, oh, look at this cover. Is it bad? Is it good? And then people start making their own versions of it, which work with views. You Photoshop yourself on a building. It works with if you're reading this. It's like a chicken scratch font. You can put whatever message you want.
We figured it out, Mel. We got ourselves on there.
Well, right, we figured it out, but what I'm saying is this isn't even a good template. Like, I've seen the brands and stuff flip this. It's like, what, you're just gonna put a grid of, like, colored palette swap stuff? That's not even good. Like, it's not even, it's not even, like, you don't even have enough creative freedom, like, with views, where you could, like, be jumping off the building, or, or it just, I don't know, man.
And I'm going to say they put a lot into this push because the check cleared in a lot of places it usually does not clear. Like, why is Sports Center sending out sponsored tweets about this? Come on, man.
I mean, Mel, you got the soundbite?
I do. I was looking for it. Where is it?
I noticed a lot of people, their checks just cleared today because they haven't said a word until today.
Okay. The checks have been clearing. I'm happy for him because I want to see him succeed, but I don't like the way he's going about it.
Like the
because
guy
I'm
in
in pain.
All right, Cam, let's face it. Today, which by the time they're listening to this, the first listen has already aired, and what happened. But today, as we're recording this, we're hours away from CLB, and I've compared this day for Mel as how the Trump supporters felt on Election Day this past year. It's a day that I feel like we know about Mel. I remember when Views came out, he called me and we counted to 3 and gave our ratings. And his was an 18 out of 20 and mine was a 9 out of 20.
Oh, yeah.
So
you didn't have to tell, man.
Will you shut up, man? Listen, who is on your...
You didn't have to tell him all that.
I will say this. It's going to be happy for the Drake fans. The Drake supporters are going to be more like the Biden supporters because I do think it's going to outsell that Dondo.
Oh, it's outselling. It's outselling for sure.
But by how much?
We've been panicking behind the scenes. Don't get me wrong, but it's going to outsell. It's going to outsell.
Wait, what can he load it up with? Because I think that's going to be the difference.
I was saying to Melvin and Jesse off air, Donda sold more than Dark Lane demo tapes. The Off Season by J. Cole sold more than Dark Lane demo tapes. Kendrick's last album sold more than Dark Lane demo tapes. Dark Lane demo tapes didn't even debut at number 1. And yes, you could say demo tapes, but at the end of the day, it was rolled out like any other album would be rolled out. It wasn't available on yousendit.com. It was a retail album at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And it had a number 1 song on it, Tuesday Slides. So I don't want to hear any goalposts moving by the Drake fans. His last release has not had as good first week numbers as the last J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, or Kanye West album. So I do feel like the pressure is on. Now, is this Mr. Check cleared? Yes. Will he move heaven and earth to get the number that he wants? Yes. Am I worried? Yes.
And I think it might... I don't think it's going to be a Curtis graduation situation. I think he's going to end up being the the top seller out of these two the entire time. But I do think it is going to be a graduation scenario where they pull some tricks to get that number one spot when it was a lot closer than it should have been.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. This is not, let's just say, this ain't doing folklore numbers first week, okay?
Who is?
Look.
Who is? At this point. You can't come with the queen.
Look, you know what? I'm going to let the flag fly real quick because I'm not going to do it during the review because that would be unprofessional. But as a Drake enthusiast, potentially for the last night, I got to let this go. All y'all wishing on the boy's demise. You know, I got a fact us for you as I drop us. Yo, listen to this.
It turns out that the early reports were wrong. Wrong.
Our boy came back swinging? Is it true?
You know.
Or, I mean, you have to, Mel, like I've said, this airs already before this episode comes out. So we're going to know the truth very soon. And so will the audience by the time they hear this. Was it a smashas or was it a trashas? We're going to find out. We're going to fucking find out. And you know what? No agenda going in. We want the boy to stay at the top of the game because at the end of the day, it would feel so empty without me, right? Right?
Without him.
Without the top guy and without a clear successor, we're going to have a void that needs to be filled. And you know what happens when we need a void filled? We get DaBaby and Meg and all these people that you try to tell me are the next Drake. They're not. They don't have it. Just give it up and find a real star. If you don't find a real star in the next 2 to 3 years, we're all fucked, including us, the people who do a show about rap. Rap needs to stay on top. And the last time a rapper was the number one artist on Spotify was 2018 when Scorpion came out. If this drought continues, who knows what could be? It would be bad news, hip-hoppers, if hip-hop just died before we even got to the 50th anniversary. Come on. We need Drake to hold on for another 2 to 3 years until a clear successor presents him or herself.
We are in the Drake Cena era and the late period Drake Cena era where they tried to make.
We are. That's a great comparison.
They've already tried to make Sheamus. They've tried to make a Sheamus. They couldn't do it.
We need a Roman Reigns in rap immediately.
Will hip hop die tonight or will it keep living?
Stay tuned, hip hoppers. Stay tuned.
I think for the good of our show, I'd love to see it. But listen, when the moon hits your eye, you know what it is. When this music hits my ear, I'm going to put a number down that corresponds to my feeling.
That's what we do.
It's a first listen. It's not going on the board. But you know what? I'm not praying on the downfall, but I'm reading the tea leaves. And the tea leaves are scare us right now.
Scare us? Look, man, all I know is I don't want any more of this. I hope I'm not hearing a bunch of Kanye disses on here. I need him to make this about Drake. Make this about himself. Make it about music. We need peace. Protons, electrons always cause explosions. Ain't that what they say on this record? It's peace, okay? As always, I'm holding up the peace sign like Nixon, and you can't see it, but I'm doing it. Trust me, okay? We don't need any more beef. Mash the beef. Okay, I got mouths to feed. Unnecessary beef is more cows to breed.
Listen, I want new music. What did I tell you? In private?
You what? You just want a good album, right?
I said I'm gonna read it. Full disclosures. All right.
Oh God.
4 or 5 summers right here. This is what I had to say about this COB. Okay.
Are you pulling up the chat? Because there's a lot of stuff in there. You're going to have to scroll.
Yeah, I'm scrolled. All right. You sent me something. You said, I don't know whose account this is, but I'm hoping for more beats like this. And I just said, please, anything that doesn't sound like the last 4 or 5 projects. That's all we can hope for at this point. The music is going to be the number one motivating factor in my ratings. I know what Drake brings to the table as a rapper and in general, but I want a Drake album that, quote, sonically, hate that word, sounds nothing like the previous ones. No ambient 40 music, no trap, no chill on the fucking hi-hats and synths and the bubble drums already. I want all new sounding music. Make a statement and raise the bar and tell all other rappers to go back to their producers and demand this new style of beat that you've developed. It's not going to happen. I wrote, it's not going to happen. But that's my quote currently. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I was about to say, we need just something different going on. Like, it's been bleak this year, honestly. And I think I blame that partially on 2020, but, like, I haven't heard a lot of albums from new artists or just artists I don't typically listen to that I've been like, yeah, I needed to hear that. And I want to listen to this Drake album and be like, this was good. It may not be my album of the year, but it's at least something I want to listen to. That's all I want.
I just miss turning on an album. And I mean, not to bring it back to Kanye, but I do remember when Late Registration dropped, The Leak. Okay. And we rode around listening to The Leak in the car that night. And all sorts of new sounds were hitting me that I wasn't hearing on any albums. I was like, we're going to need a whole genre of addiction type music now. I want more addiction.
You know I love that addiction.
You know? Or the way that, you know, he was doing the, like, putting the sounds in certain channels and stuff like that, like on Gone. You know, like how that beat is mixed. Like, there was just stuff that was hitting me. It sounded new. It sounded exciting, you know? And that excitement sometimes of, like, an artist that is simultaneously receiving the platform that they need to do shit on a big scale. So I'm thinking like Outkast, right? Like, that's a perfect Missy, like, where they got a budget more or less. And they're able to flex that budget a little bit. And we're able to hear some shit where when you're working at the highest levels, I want to hear some innovation. I want to press play on an album and not hear your last album reheated, essentially. I just want to hear what you got, what's coming next. Drake has a song. We'll see what's about to happen next. Yeah, you're damn right we will. Or is it going to be more of the same? Because you used to be nothing. Mr. Nothing was the same. Now you're Mr. Everything is the same.
Oh, I'm hitting it.
That's my diatribe on Drake right now. How did it all shake out in the first listen? Check it out on the feed if you haven't heard it yet.
That's right. I just want it to be as good as this Liquid Swords at least, because Cam, you don't know, but so far by this track 7, I've liked all but one track. So
if you want to know my rating, and it's an album I love, I like all but one track up to this point on the album. So we're in sync. Now, well, you would have already reviewed it. What's the one that didn't make it?
Cold World.
Really? Mine is Labels.
Oh, Labels, huh?
It's just, I've heard it so many times, it just doesn't get over for me anymore. The concept's fine, but I'm just
listen,
it's all right.
Moulz and Cam connect.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the only song so far, because if you've been listening so far, you would have heard all my other ratings. That's the only knock I have on this so far. And it's really nothing against the song, but the novelty of the song has long expired for me.
Exactly. It used to be like that was a song I would
give it a flat 7 back in the day, probably.
Yeah, like if I wanted somebody to just hear GZA spit something that's kind of fun, I would play that for them. Not like Dance with the Devil style by Immortal Technique where you're just keeping someone in the car to listen to it. But just be like, no, listen to this. It's all right. But anymore, I'm like, I've heard this too many times. Half these labels don't exist and no one knows what they are anymore. You know.
Well, that was my fear with Mel actually going in. I'm like, is this song not going to land for Mel?
No, it lands because I'm traumatized. I come from that. Okay? You know, I've dealt with that. And listen, I know what's going on here, you two. I got a new drop for y'all.
This white capitalist swine.
Okay, this is you're being white capitalist swine right now, and you're on the side of the labels. That's what this is.
Please hit the check cleared drop.
Yeah, hit it.
And all I gotta say, shout out to my homie and my great mentor, Mr. Leor Cohen. Okay, check cleared, baby. All right, you and your beautiful son. I'd kiss you both on the mouth right now if I was in the same room with you. Okay.
Lyle does not speak for me on that one. No, not at all.
And your very beautiful son. I have nothing bad to say about you or your very, very beautiful son.
God, now I'm thinking of Trump talking about Lear Cohen's son.
Exactly. We're in the same frame of mind here.
He's a beautiful son. He's just a beautiful son.
He's a beautiful son. He's worked with them all. Post Malone, Young Thugger, all of them.
He's not like my sons. My son's ghouls, hideous. He's a beautiful son.
Oh dear.
God.
No, in actuality, fuck those guys. And
man,
absolutely.
Hey, we know about you. Stop fucking around on YouTube. Stop telling Daddy to fuck around on YouTube with that shadow ban on the J. Cole review because it was surging at a rate that you didn't feel comfortable at. All right, get off my dick, you pussy.
Oh wow.
I know about you.
That'd be happening tonight.
I so know about you, okay? So go back with your little $50 donations and go to hell, okay? You suck my dick.
Oh, God. Well,
this is like some deep rap lore. Like, I forget where I first heard that. Like, I've heard the bit about and I don't even know if it's a Patreon thing at first, but yeah, that was shady. Wait, was it which one was it? The Rich Gang. The Rich Gang tape, I think.
That might have, we might have, that sounds like that would have been one we would have set it on.
Because signed Young Thug. Yeah.
Yes.
But by the way, I make beats. I'm never trying to get in the industry ever again, so I can say dumb things like that.
Word,
I'd say those are very smart things to say, and only people who are compromised are unable to say them. So for those who are compromised, that was your decision that you get to live with. However, on your behalf, since you can't do it, I'd just like to say one more time, fuck.
Well, I'm trying to consider whether I should censor all this or not. Censorship Mel was scratching his head. I'll find out in post. Anyway.
I mean, I took some law classes. There was
Mel, can you censor it for the YouTube upload so it doesn't get demonetized due to all the F words?
Yeah.
But just for the long form itself, like on SoundCloud or just in the episode itself, leave it unmuted because people should have to hear fuck.
You're going to keep saying it to make this harder for me,
as much as they can, because it's one of the most important things to hear in these days and times.
I'm finished with you. Cam, you see now firsthand what I got to put up with.
You know what? But while I'm here, fuck friend as well.
All right, I'm not. Listen, okay. All righty.
Oh my God.
I think we're done here. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. One more thing. Not only fuck.
Come on, man.
And I wanted to say fuck his idiot friend. There we go. Thank you. The captain has spoken.
Audience, I'd like to apologize for all the censors you just heard. Sorry about that. I've got nothing else left to say. I think about this record.
It's a 10 for me. I got nothing more but just praise on this record. Great album, and can't wait to hear the rest of the review to see where you guys are on it.
I will say one thing, actually, in reference to the people we were just mentioning that have been censored. When RZA said daggone, I think this is RZA. No, this wasn't RZA. Who had the last verse? I'm trying to remember. GZA, of course. When he said, I learned much from such swift cons who run scams. Yeah, I did learn a lot. That's why I'm not in that industry anymore. So
you know about them.
We know about them. So that's
sorry, I had to get on my Stilo real quick.
Oh God.
Well, Folks, you got a lot here in this guest appearance. Hopefully the first of many from the father, okay?
Well, I actually have a huge announcement as we've been leaking episodes for next season little by little. Cam is like the father himself has signed on to be the guest for the future DS2 review next season. That's right. He's already re-upped his contract with Rab Wrestling Entertainment.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I am not All Elite. I am Rab.
Love to hear it.
That's what everyone should be, okay? And by the way, to everyone out there speculating, Daniel Bryan's coming. No, he's not. He's Rab, and he's coming right here to Rab next season.
I can't co-sign this statement. I think Moulz he's on his coke wave again. I don't know what's going on right now. But
listen, Moulz is throwing around bags, and we don't know where they're coming from.
I'm telling you, the books are looking funny over here at Rab HQ, all right? I'm over here with no car, poor, and Moulz is doing all kinds of stuff, eating food and signing people, you know? Something's going on.
Oh, God.
I'm doing major deals under the table right now with some of the dirtiest players in the game. You know, I mean, I'm not saying it's Saddam Hussein, but I mean, who's sane?
Oh my God!
Sane,
all right.
Sane is crazy. God. Sane is crazy. Shout out to the homie.
Folks, this has been track 7, 4 Chamber, with special guest Cam is like. It's been great. Moulz is insane. And I guess we'll be back shortly with track 8. Sound good to everyone?
Sounds
good.
It's
the 4th Chambord, and I hope you've enjoyed.
All right. Yo, it's Mel from Rap Rankings. To hear the full episode this clip comes from and all the other episodes, stop by raprankings.com or search Rap Rankings on your favorite podcast platform.